a long fly ball.
It is
That
flying.
is back
It is
at the
soaring.
wall.
It is gone. Gone, I tell you.
That
gone.
one's going back. It's at the track, at the wall. God!
We have playoff baseball for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is a classic rivalry. Loba and his Florida Marlins, Killerbat and his Baltimore Orioles, two championship-winning coaches with their usual teams. This is a huge deal, and oh my goodness, the game has already started. Ladies and gentlemen, we should probably get right underway. Hey, Ben, Bath and Beyond, let's get this party started, shall we?
Absolutely. My goodness, Alex. I am so excited for this one. It feels like a World Series matchup, and it's only a quarterfinal. So what a treat this is so early in the postseason for these two teams. As we do jump right into the action here, we see the usual suspect on the mound for the Orioles, Amanda Hellerman. She's pitched pretty much every inning in the entire season except for one. And Kenny Lofton, the leadoff batter for the Marlins, who's quickly down 2-1 as that's ripped to left field. The left fielder's getting under it, and she's able to make the catch. So that's an important out there to get Kenny Lofton the leadoff out, because Kenny Lofton and Lindsey Felgate here have led the league in stolen bases. So when you let them on, they're going to be looking to steal, especially since Killerbat does not have a 100-arm catcher. So that's a big first out here, bringing up the big bat of Lindsey Felgate, who looks at strike one, and then looks at ball one a little bit outside. Lindsey has struggled by her measures this season. She only has one home run, as that's popped up to right field. Jeremy Burnett's looking the wrong way, is able to make the catch. So I might have just jinxed her there as I talked about how poorly she's done with power this season. Granted, she is playing at dirt yards, so a little bit harder to hit home runs there, but you would expect more than one from Lindsey Felgate. So two quick outs here for the Orioles. Amanda Hellerman has only had to throw 8 pitches. Not that stamina is ever really an issue with her, but it's always nice to work quickly as Barbara Jones takes a ball low and inside. So 1 ball, 1 strike for the shortstop of the Marlins. Swing and a miss. There's that Amanda Hellerman fastball, high heat. Barbara Jones is not able to catch up, and so now she's down 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch, a little bit too outside. The 2-2 pitch now from Amanda Hellerman. A take all the way, although that did end up closer than even I thought it was going to be. So full count now for Barbara Jones. The 3-2 pitch and a good take. So from 1-2, Barbara Jones takes some good pitches from Amanda Hellerman, and the Marlins have their first base runner. So 2 outs and a runner on. That brings up the starting pitcher for the Marlins, who we'll get to in the bottom half of the inning, Kristen Sullivan. As it seems like the hit and run is on for the Marlins. Takes strike one, top left corner there. So Amanda Hellerman getting ahead in the count again here. Swing and a little doinker to the catcher. It's picked up in plenty of time. It's thrown to first base, and the Marlins are retired.
Slow down there, champ.
So as we head into the bottom half of the inning here, you already know these two teams. You know them well. You know these coaches. They are both phenomenal players. As we head into the bottom of the first here, Killerbat, you'll see in a second, he's got his big bats, as his name would imply, coming up. Ken Griffey Jr. and Rachel LaBuena, who've done nothing but crush, especially here at Parks Department number 2. So we'll see them very shortly. But the leadoff here is Sheila Basanti, the center fielder, who takes strike one a little bit high and then looks at ball one down and away. So 1-1 count. And a good hook from Kristen Sullivan. She's got that hook down. And so 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Sheila, who swings and misses. That's the first strikeout of the game. And it goes to Kristen Sullivan of the Marlins. So 1 out there for the Marlins. That's a big one to get as well, as that brings up Faye Dawson. You definitely want to get the first couple of batters out because you don't want to have runners on when you get to that gauntlet of Ken Griffey Jr. and Rachel LaBuena. As first pitch swinging, that's the first hit of the game. And thinking about going to second, but wisely going back to first base as Vanessa Goodman runs the ball in, and it's relayed back to the pitcher. So first pitch swinging, and as I just mentioned, you wanted to keep base runners off of the base paths for Ken Griffey Jr., who is 3rd in the league in home runs. He's 2nd in average. He's done nothing but crush the ball, and he's got a chance to do some damage here early on. As he swings and hits a drive to left field, it's back at the wall. Lindsey Foge, it looks like she's got it, and she does on the warning track. Makes a good catch. So another first pitch swing there, aggressive batting, and it almost paid off. That was very, very close, but just a few feet shy, and now there's 2 outs for the other power threat, Rachel LaBuena. So when these two teams first played in Week 5 of the regular season, Rachel LaBuena and Ken Griffey Jr. were both walked intentionally every single at-bat. So they collected 6 walks between them. They never saw a pitch. So the fact that Ken Griffey Jr. even was able to swing and make contact at a pitch there is already an improvement for Killerbat from their first encounter, as Rachel LaBuena looks like she's not going to get a pitch to hit as she's down 3-1. And she's going to take her walk. So looks like with Ken Griffey Jr. retired, Loba's not taking any chances, which did kind of become the meta in all of the leagues this season, but especially the HL, as the HL absolutely obliterated the walk record. I'm pretty sure they broke it in like Week 10 or Week 11, if I'm remembering correctly. So we get our first timeout of the game, which is a good time to remind you of the new timeout rule this season, if you weren't aware of it or you don't remember. Coaches only get 2 timeouts. They only get 8 timeouts total, and they can still only take 2 timeouts per half inning. So the big difference there is 8 total timeouts, as it looks like we are going to get a pitching change here, although we're thinking about some defensive changes. So we are getting a pitching change. That's going to put Kristen Sullivan at shortstop, and it's going to bring in Dominic Hoskins as some more defensive positionings get moved around. That's Robbie Bacco going to third base. So that brings up Terry Vega, who is the 3rd of these power threats in a row that you're facing. You get Ken Griffey, Rachel LaBuena, and then Terry Vega, which is just terrifying in its own. But then a Parks Department number 2, it's even more terrifying, as a good strike from Dominic Hoskins evens the count, but then throws a little bit low. So a favorable count here for Terry Vega, 2-1. The pitch, a little bit low and inside, so Terry Vega ahead in the count, 3-1. You certainly don't want to walk him. It's not the worst thing in the world if you're Loba, and there is ball 4. You almost feel like you want to take your chances with the next batter, but from 2 outs, 1 on to 2 outs, bases loaded after 2 walks is still tough for anyone. So that brings up Jeremy Burnett, who has done a good job this season taking advantage of some of those walks ahead of him. As first pitch swinging, he hits one to left field, but it looks like Kenny Lofton is going to range under it. Makes a readjustment and drops the ball. Oh my goodness, 1 run is in. Here comes the 2nd run, and it's 2-0 off of a drop from Kenny Lofton. Oh my goodness, it looks like he had it all lined up. No problem whatsoever, and then he just drops the ball. What a horrible time for an error there. So the 2 walks come back to hurt him. As there's another drop by Kenny Lofton. Can he regain his control in time? No. Everyone's going to be safe, and it's bases loaded again. Oh my goodness, this is a terrible start if you're the Marlins. A dream start if you're the Orioles. Although they may be able to get out of it, as Amanda Hellerman is up to the plate. And as good of a job as pitching as she's done, as you would expect, batting-wise, she's not done so hot. She finished 132 on the year, although she did have 2 home runs. But that's not a home run. That is a swing and a little doinker back to Dominic, who in plenty of time picks it up, sets, fires to first base, and the side is finally retired, but not before a couple of walks and a couple of errors from Kenny Lofton score 2 for the Orioles. And so we head into the top of the 2nd with the Orioles holding the advantage. So leading off the 2nd inning, we have the 3rd baseman here, Robbie Bacco, who was acquired via trade, as he looks at ball 1, a little outside. By Loba's standards, it was not the best start for the Marlins, although there was some scheduling changes this year, and so as Robbie Bacco hits a soft grounder to the first baseman, it's picked up and Robbie Bacco is retired. There were some scheduling changes, and Loba had to face quite the gauntlet to start the year, so after, like I said, not the worst start in the world, but after a 4-3 start for the Marlins, they decided to switch things up and made a bunch of trades when the trade window opened. And Robbie Baca was one of those trades as Ingrid Dahlman fouls that one away to even the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Amanda Hellerman, good pitch, swing and a miss on the outside corner. So Ingrid Dahlman now is down 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Amanda Hellerman is up to 20 pitches. But again, stamina is not usually an issue for her. Swing and a miss. That's going to help with the stamina. A strikeout, first of the game for Amanda Hellerman. And there's 2 outs, nobody on here for the Florida Marlins. So that brings up Venetia. Oh, I always thought it was Vanessa, but apparently I'm being corrected by my color commentator, Sunny Day, that it's Venetia Goodman. And she takes ball 1 high and away. Venetia Goodman batted .333 on the year, and that's not going to... Oh, maybe it will, though, as Amanda Hellerman has trouble with the ball. Picks it up in time, though. Recovers, throws to first to retire the side. So the Marlins still hitless. They go into the bottom of the second, and they've got to hold them here because they don't want to put themselves in any more of a hole. And I'll tell you why in just a second. As P.J. Sharif, the right fielder, comes up, Dominic Hoskin is still on the mound. As that is a... Okay, so I'm getting another correction, and Sunny Day is actually wrong, and it is Vanessa. Sunny says Venetia.
I'm going to be so real. I did not notice / I don't care that Vanessa is spelt that way. Sunny Day is wrong.
I agree. I agree. So it's a 1-1 count now for Dominic Hoskins and PJ Sharif as, oh, and we get a little bit of a crash.
Yep.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Unlucky. So while they're resetting here, I had just alluded to a stat that I pointed out this morning that so far we've had 18 playoff series between all 3 leagues, and the team that won Game 1 has won 13 of those 18 series. So obviously, as you would expect, but you know it's nice to have numbers. Winning Game 1 super, super important, especially if you're the home team, because even if you lose Game 2, you have Game 3 back at home. So this is a super, super important first game to win, especially in a best of 3, as it's really tough to win 2 straight against such high-level competition.
Yeah,
so we're going to have a reset here. Oops, sorry, Alex, cut you off.
I was going to say, the last time these guys played on the Twitch stream, or the last time I remember these guys played on the Twitch stream, we had kind of a similar situation happen where Killerbat was able to use his trademark Killerbats, as many say. He's very power-heavy, normally a very power-heavy kind of coach. Loba is more speed-based, and when we're playing at Killerbat's home stadium, Parks Department Field number 2, you know Killerbat's going to turn on those offensive jets as much as he possibly can. That being said, this does not mean that, in my opinion, this does not mean that this series is a lock for Killerbat. I think that Loba still has just as much experience and, if anything, a lot more grit.
I would agree with you on that assessment, absolutely. And it's interesting you talked about how Killerbat, has the killer bat in the power. Because I think I mentioned this, but maybe not. I'll say it again. Unsurprisingly, Killerbat led the league in home runs. He had 27 home runs, and he was second in the front yard in extra base hits. I know, you can't believe it. That's such a shocking statistic. And then, of course, the Marlins led the league in stolen bases, solidifying their mantra of speed on dirt yards as the dirt yard demon. So
small ball versus roid ball.
It really is a battle of speed versus power, which we saw a little bit of in the JL playoffs that was streamed here on Twitch last week between Chargeider and Cap'n Munch. Similar team styles there, where Chargeider has a Parks Department number 2 team that was power heavy. Cap'n Munch had a dirt yards team that was very, very speed based. And in that one, power came out on top. So going to be interesting to see if that trend holds up in the higher level, higher league.
think I need to change some settings here. As we are waiting, I gotta figure out. So I'm running this thing is being streamed on a Linux computer, and normally when you stream on OBS, if you want to crop the image to where you can have a background like this, you press the Alt key and then drag the thing in. Oh boy, where is it? Okay, and you drag it in like this way to try and crop the image. But when you hold down Alt and click on any window in Linux Mint, it moves the window automatically. So I got to find a way to turn that off.
Challenging you to a game.
You know, I've heard some really crazy things about Linux, and I don't quite understand what the allure and what the appeal is.
The appeal, I can tell you right now, is that if you have a Windows computer and there's a bunch of applications that you absolutely do not need, just all in your face, Linux has none of that.
No one writes
I do like
viruses
that.
for
I do
Linux.
like simplicity, especially on my desktop. Although I don't think my 2017 HP laptop is really going to make a difference on what operating system I'm using.
Loba, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that no one writes viruses for Linux, so that helps. Also, I'm
You're
calling
right.
him.
You are so right.
So top one is bot 2, just to make things easier.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have never seen competitive backyard sports before, this is the stuff that they do not show you in the YouTube shorts. The egregious planning for when a crash, let's be honest, definitely will happen in this 25-year-old software.
I think this is the first crash and reset that I've had to experience on the Twitch, so I guess I've had pretty good luck with it, because that's like 6 or 7 games in. Oh, I said 6 or 7. But
This
honestly,
is my
it has
first
been
all
like
season.
That's crazy.
First-
We got
wow,
the second
what a
round of the
time.
playoffs with no crashes.
what a time.
We're back, I think.
All right, I think we are back. Oh, do we have to get an out? No, there was nobody out.
Here's the pitch.
Perfect. All right, so we are back. Very nice. All right, so we'll see how this crash affects both coaches. You know, there was a pitching change early. With Kristen Sullivan doesn't have great stamina, so maybe that ends up helping the Marlins here as they get a little bit of a reset with their pitching stamina. Or maybe they were just changing pitchers to purely switch up the strategy. We'll see. As PJ Sharif is now down 0-2 and then takes a little bit high. Oh, my goodness, that could have been called a strike. Very, very close. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch again from Kristen Sullivan. Swing and a miss. There's her second strikeout. I know it's only going to say 1, but that's the second strikeout for Kristen Sullivan.
Sheila Basanti steps up.
So with 1 out, base is empty. This is the bottom of the second inning, not the top of the first. That brings up the center fielder, Sheila Basanti. So we're back to the top of the lineup already for the Orioles as they've batted around only 4 outs into the game as Sheila Basanti takes strike number 1. And then a little bit high, ball number 1. So a 1-1 count now for the center fielder of the Orioles. Kristen Sullivan winds, fires, and a little bit too far outside. So 2 balls, 1 strike for Sheila. Swing at a little line drive up the right field line. Ingrid Dolman diving catch. Oh my goodness.
Slow down there, champ.
You'll see that tomorrow morning, folks.
Steps up the bat.
What a save from Ingrid Dolman. That could have been extra bases. So a very, very loud second out here for the Marlins. And that brings up Faye Dawson, who, again, this is such an important out for the Marlins. They almost were able to get out of the first inning without having to face Ken Griffey Jr. with runners on base, but they weren't able to do that. So we'll see if they can get out of it here as the 0-2 pitch just misses. Oh my goodness, by mere pixels. So the 1-2 count from Kristen Sullivan. Strike number 3, a looking strikeout on the upper inside corner, and the Marlins do get out of it without having runners on for the power bat. So they'll still have to face him next inning, but the bases will be empty. So that is a big, big out there for the Marlins. So we head to the top of the 3rd inning. This is going to be quite, man, I'm definitely going to forget what inning it is at some point. But right now it's the top of the 3rd. It's still 2-0 to the Orioles as Mary Riley comes up for the first time today playing catcher. She looks at ball number 1 from Amanda Hellerman, and then takes strike number 1 on the inside corner. So the count is now even, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Into the windup and the throw.
Mary Riley, surprisingly, finished the season batting .324 with 6 RBIs, 2 doubles, and even had a couple of triples as she hits a little nubber to the 3rd baseman, Ken Griffey Jr., who picks it up and in plenty of times. My goodness, I feel like I keep talking about how good some of these batters are, and then they do something absolutely horrible. So that's my fault. I take full responsibility. I do apologize to both coaches.
Dominic Hoskins is the best hitter in the entire game. This
He
is
is
a very
Dominic
great
Hoskins.
player.
And oh my goodness, that is a drive to left field. This is going to get down in time. No. It almost worked.
It nearly worked, the reverse psychology, as it were.
Kenny Lofton comes to
Oh my goodness, that was a loud crack of the bat as I voice crack. And so that brings up the top of the lineup again. Kenny Lofton now with 2 outs and nobody on base. First pitch swing, and that's a hard ground ball to Terry Vega as he dives, gets up, and not in time to get the speedy Kenny Lofton. So Kenny Lofton gets on base for the first time today, and as I mentioned, he led the league in stolen bases. So with 2 outs, you definitely expect him to be going here, try to get into scoring position. But he certainly doesn't want to run himself out of an out with Lindsey Felgate up, as he is stealing first pitch and very easily takes second base. As I mentioned, the Orioles do not have the strongest arm at catcher, so if Kenny Lofton and Lindsey Felgate are getting on base, you can almost expect them to auto-steal every time. As Lindsey Felgate takes ball number 2 a little bit inside.
Here's the motion.
So the tying run at the plate here,
That was ball.
as that's ball number 3 a little bit outside. I'd be a little bit surprised to see a hittable pitch here on 3-0 to Lindsey Felgate with first base open. We'll see what Amanda Hellerman does. As that is a swing, I don't think that was a swing to hit the ball. Kenny Lofton's in a little bit of a pickle, but he's able to get back in time.
They have a
So I don't think that was a swing from Lindsey Felgate to hit the ball. I think it was a classic, I'm going to make you throw one more pitch if you're going to walk me. As the 3-1 pitch comes in, and it is too high and inside. So that is a walk with first base open to Lindsey Felgate. And so from nobody on, 2 outs, there's now 2 on and 2 out for Barbara Jones, who has also done a really good job batting behind Kenny Lofton and Lindsey Felgate. She led the team with 13 RBIs all season. She batted .465, so she has done her job as the lineup protection for these 2 speedy players as she takes strike number 1, so quickly down in the count, 0-1. And she looks at strike number 2 on the outside corner, so 0-2 now to Barbara Jones.
From the windup, the pitch.
Amanda Hellerman looking to get out of the jam, and she does, a looking strike 3 on the bottom outside corner, and the Orioles escape.
And that'll do it in the first
So
inning.
Amanda Hellerman pitching her team out of a jam, and we head to the bottom of the 3rd. The score remains 2-0
Ken Griffey Jr. at the
for
plate.
the Orioles. And as I had mentioned before, we're going to start off with the first of this gauntlet of power hitters here at Parks, and that's Ken Griffey Jr. So when they first played in Week 5, as I mentioned, Ken Griffey Jr. and
The wing
his counterpart, as that is first pitch swinging, does it have enough? It doesn't look like it. Vanessa Goodman is under, but she can't make the catch.
it over to second.
So it's another error in the outfield for the Marlins that allows a base runner to reach. And so with nobody on and 1 out, as I just mentioned, that brings up the second of this gauntlet of hitters, Rachel LaBuena. So it doesn't seem like Loba has the same strategy as he did the first time they played. He's not just intentionally walking the 2 batters here in Ken Griffey and Rachel LaBuena. He is pitching to them as that's a first pitch strike on the bottom outside corner. for Kristen Sullivan, so getting ahead. And that's a swing and a deep line drive to Lindsay Felgate. It looks like she's under it, but she drops the ball. Oh, no, it's the 4th error for the Marlins. And so 2 errors and 2 on for Terry Vega. Oh, my goodness. This is just such a horrible, horrible run of luck here for the Marlins. They did have 32 logged errors on the year, so they're not exactly allergic to errors, but that was middle of the pack, and it certainly wasn't averaging 4 a game. As Terry Vega swings and hits a little ground ball that should advance the runners as the throw goes to second base in time and the throw back to first. Another drop. Oh, my goodness. Ken Griffey Jr. is thinking about going to home, but he wisely goes back. So that's now 3 outs that this defense has given away, and this is not the type of lineup you want to give away outs to. So runners on first and third for Jeremy Burnett. And the extended inning is continuing for the Orioles. Can they take advantage of all these errors like they did in the first inning as Jeremy Burnett takes ball 1 and then swings and misses on a good hook down and away. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Jeremy Burnett did struggle at the plate, hitting .257 for the year, as he hits a little doinker to Dominic Hoskins, who runs up, makes the catch, and retires Jeremy Burnett. I swear I was going to say Jeremy Burnett, while he struggled with his average, he did hit 6 RBIs and score 8 runs. So the few hits that he did have, which were only 9 hits, he made them count, and he could have made a count there. But that's the 2nd out now in the inning, and the Marlins are 1 out away from keeping the deficit at 2, as it brings up Amanda Hellerman, the pitcher, who takes ball 1 low and then swings a little doinker. This could be trouble. Amanda Hellerman, and that just goes foul. Boy, if that stayed fair, that was going to be close, because you got a slow Mary Riley and a slow Amanda Hellerman in a tortoise versus tortoise race to first base. But we don't see the outcome of that. We see a foul ball and a 1-1 count for the pitcher, Amanda Hellerman. And a good hook from Kristen Sullivan just clips the inside corner. So the Marlins 1 strike away from getting out of this jam. And it's fouled away. Amanda Hellerman stays alive. So can Killerbat take advantage of the 3 errors? Another foul ball from Amanda Hellerman. So a good at bat here, getting Kristen Sullivan tired. You can see her stamina starting to get a little bit drained. A swing and a line drive to Ingrid Dahlman, who dives and makes the catch. Ingrid Dahlman is the only player on the Marlins who decided to play defense today. She makes another diving grab, and the Marlins get out of the jam without allowing any more runs to score. So halfway through this game, it's 2-0 Orioles, and that brings up the pitcher, Kristen Sullivan. Amanda Hellerman sets, fires, and that was a wild pitch. That's definitely not where that was supposed to go. So 1 ball now to the pitcher, Kristen Sullivan. Swing and a miss on a good hook from Amanda Hellerman. Boy, Kristen wanted that one back, because that caught a lot of the zone. And that one just hooks but stays outside, just barely. 2-1 now to Kristen Sullivan. The hitter's count. Here's the pitch. And ripped foul. Ooh, just a little bit early on that one. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Amanda Hellerman looking for her 3rd strikeout of the game. The 2-2 pitch swung on and a little doinker back to the pitcher. Who's going to get it? Not the pitcher. Oh, yes, the pitcher. Amanda Hellerman sets, fires in time to get the tired Kristen Sullivan. So good communication there from the pitcher-catcher duo to get the 1st out. And that brings up the left fielder, Robbie Bacco.
If there's anything that I won't shut up about, it's the Season 2 playoffs where Hellerman was actually the World Series winning pitcher against Killerbat's Orioles. She won the league MVP that year. If she didn't win that, she definitely won the Cy Young. But it's funny seeing her on the Orioles now, after I would assume there would be a little bit of PTSD after even mentioning her name after that series.
As Bacco hits a little doinkler back to the pitcher, so Amanda Hellerman has both outs in the inning. And you know what they say, if you can't beat them, join them.
Oh, yeah,
so
no.
If you can't beat
I have used that philosophy. So one time, Jerry Mahoney was like got me to strike out like 5 times in a game, so I just drafted him like 2 seasons later.
And I bet it worked out for you, as,
Oh,
as
it
it always
worked out
tends
fine.
to go, right?
What? This is our BBL at like season 12, I would say. We're in season 15 now.
I do love a good Jerry Mahoney in the RBBL.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind him in the BBOL either, as Ingrid Dahlman fouls off that pitch, so she's now down 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Hellerman is thinking, holding, sets and fires the 1-2 pitch. Just a little bit inside. A good hook. So 2-2 now. Ingrid Dahlman looking to stay alive. Fouls it away, so she does. So working it at bat here. Again, Amanda Hellerman doesn't usually get tired. She's got amazing stamina. But you never know, and trying to get her pitch count up is never a bad idea, as a good take, tough take on 2-2. So it's now run full. The payoff pitch. Looking, strike 3, Amanda Hellerman. 3rd strikeout of the game. And the side is retired. So that brings us to the bottom of the 4th. As a reminder, we did have a reset after a crash. So we head into the bottom of the 4th. It's 2-0 Orioles, not 0-0. And Amanda Hellerman with 4 strikeouts in 4 innings. And that's not surprising, A, because it's Amanda Hellerman, but B, because the Marlins, a little bit of a surprise, they were 2nd worst in the league at striking out at the plate. They struck out a lot. And so 4 in the first 4 innings is certainly following that trend, as a little line drive looper to Dominic Hoskins. He makes the catch, and the first out is retired. And that brings up PJ Sharif, the right fielder today. Kristen Sullivan staying on the mound, but definitely having to manage that stamina as she throws strike 1 on the lower inside corner. I would imagine, since we're in the bottom half of the lineup, you know, you're not too afraid using your tired pitcher, as that's another little line drive to Dominic Hoskins, and he makes another catch. So Dominic Hoskins, the magnet there at second base, but he's doing his job. So 2 quick outs, and we do see a timeout. So Kristen Sullivan was able to get through those first 2 batters, but I think this is a wise decision to get a little bit of a defensive realignment here and get a new pitcher in, and it's going to be Dominic Hoskins, who just made those 2 catches at second base.
Dominic Hoskins.
So Sheila Basanti, the leadoff hitter, with 2 outs and nobody on. Dominic Hoskins sets, fires, and oh my goodness, what a strike. It looked like it was going to stay too high, but it dropped just at the top of the zone. So Dominic Hoskins gets ahead in the count early, and then gets another dot ball. Oh my goodness, 2 good strikes from Dominic Hoskins. He's ahead early in the count. He's looking for the punch out, and he's going to get it looking on a low corner. Oh my goodness.
3 pitches, 3 strikes. That's incredible work from Dominic Hoskins right there.
I do not blame Killerbat for not swinging at those pitches. I mean, those were just, if you're going to make 3 perfect pitches, you can have it. My goodness.
Goodman comes to the plate.
And there it is again, Sunny Day saying Venetia Goodman. Those were not my words.
Venetia.
So, Venetia, not Vanessa Goodman, comes up to lead off the inning for the Marlins, who need to get something going. They've really not had many base runners. And the one time they did, they left him stranded. As she rips this one to shortstop, it's going to take a bounce, but a good pickup and a good throw to first base. Not an easy play there, as Parks Department number 2 is not, you know, it has its crazy bounces. Not as bad as some of the other fields, but a good play there from the shortstop and a good first out there. So that brings up the catcher, Mary Riley. As Amanda Hellerman sets, fires. Swing and a miss. Amanda Hellerman getting ahead in the count, 0-1 now.
From the windup, he delivers.
The 0-1 pitch.
Swung on.
Swung on, and that's drilled to third base, as that's picked up by Ken Griffey Jr. and thrown over in plenty of time. So 2 quick outs.
Dominic Hoskins.
Once again, a little bit of a caster's curse. As I said, they need to get something going this inning, and then they quickly have 2 groundouts. So 2 outs, bases empty for the pitcher, Dominic Hoskins, who first pitch swinging, hits it right back to the pitcher, thrown over to first base, and the side is retired.
Scoreless game so far, folks.
So it's all going to come down to the final inning for the Marlins here when they come back up to bat in the top of the sixth. So the Orioles would like to get a few more runs.
The delivery.
A 2-0 lead is definitely able to be held in one inning, but considering Loba's going to have top of his lineup coming up, if he can get at least a hit in the top of the sixth, you certainly would like some more insurance, and that is Fade Austin swings and misses and quickly down 0-2.
And the throw.
The 0-2 pitch from Dominic Hoskins, a little looper to the second baseman, Robbie Bacco, who looks like he's got it. He does. He makes the catch, and that is the first out of the inning.
At the plate.
So a big out there, as always, getting the runners in front of the gauntlet of power hitters, the first being Ken Griffey Jr., who does have a long single today. It was a very long single. Should have been an out, probably.
From the stretch.
But he'll get it marked down as a single in backyard baseball scoring rules as he takes low and inside, ball number 1.
From the
So Dominic Hoskins, who's come in and locked it down in relief,
ball two.
he's getting tasked with a very tall order here, and he's down 2-0 to Ken Griffey Jr. The 2-0 pitch, that's also low. So with 3-0, we may just see a 4-pitch walk, as that one is intentionally swung on to make Dominic throw another pitch, but it was definitely aimed well outside.
Into the motion.
And we'll see if Killerbat swings again. No, he's going to accept his walk. So not going to bring the count full. He's just going to take his walk to bring up the next power hitter, Rachel the Good LaBuena, with a runner on first. So Rachel looking to put this one out of reach with one swing of the bat. Her and Ken Griffey Jr., the dynamic duo.
Time out.
Ken Griffey Jr. was 3rd in home runs. Rachel LaBuena was 4th in home runs. She was also 1st in on-base percentage. She was reaching base every 3 out of 4 at-bats, an on-base percentage of .756, which is just, I would say, video game numbers, but this is a video game, so it doesn't really make sense to say that.
And how many walks
You
did
get-
they draw?
And the throw.
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me double-check real quick. I didn't have that one written down. They drew 12 walks and 13 walks, respectively. So 25 walks combined in 14 games. 6 of those came from their one game against Loba in Week 5.
With ball three.
As it looks like we're going to get another walk here, as that's 3 balls well out of the zone. And we'll probably see another swing. We will. So going to make Barbara Jones throw a 5th pitch. But we're going to get a walk, so we'll have 1 out and runners on first and second for Terry Vega,
And that's
who has also done his job. He's got 9 RBIs batting behind these 2 power bats, so he's done a pretty decent job hitting in these runners who have gotten walked so often. He doesn't have an extra base hit today, but that could change as he takes ball 1 low and inside. 3 home runs on the year for Terry Vega and 1 double. As we get another timeout, and we're going to get Dominic Hoskins back on the mound. So that is the second timeout of the half inning here for Loba. They cannot take another timeout. So with only 1 out, it's all up to Dominic Hoskins. He's coming back into relief,
and the pitch.
trying to get out of this jam and keep the Marlins within 2 runs, as that is just a little bit high and inside. So 2 balls, no strikes here for Terry Vega. It's a hitter's count.
Ball three.
And it's now 3 balls, no strikes. Oh, my goodness. Dominic Hoskins coming back in and can't find the zone. You don't want to walk the bases full, and he doesn't. He gets strike 1 on the lower inside corner. That was a take all the way. And that is the 3rd timeout. That is not allowed, folks.
That's an illegal timeout.
That is an illegal timeout.
Hold
Let's
on.
see if Killerbat... Now, Killerbat does have to, just like in real baseball when you have an appeal play, Killerbat does have to notice, and he does have to point that out. If Killerbat doesn't say anything, then no harm, no foul.
The stretch.
But
3-1
it
pitch.
seems like Killerbat is saying something because there was no pitch, and it's an intentional walk. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the penalty was the runners advance 1 base. So they should have advanced 1 base before the walk happened.
Next batter, Jeremy Burnett.
And I don't think it should have been an intentional walk pitch. I think she should have had to use some of her stamina to walk Terry Vega there.
But
But
either way, it might have been the right move in the first place, because that is a sort of punishment in some way.
it is, because now the bases are loaded with 3 straight walks for Jeremy Burnett, who swings and misses at strike 1. So Kristen Sullivan is back on the mound, being asked to get. I mean, they just keep rotating pitchers here. It's Kristen, and then it's Dominic, and then it's Barbara Jones. As look like we might have had a crash there for a second, but it's back, thankfully. So this trio of pitches who have been pitching in tandem together all season. As that's a little doinker, this could be 2. Mary Riley picks it up, steps on first, fires to third base in time. Double play, and the Marlins get out of the bases loaded jam. So they walk them full, but then Jeremy Burnett hits a little doinker back to the catcher, doubles it up, and it does remain 2-0. So I know it says bottom 4. That's wrong. It's top of the 6th, and it's the top of the lineup here for the Marlins. It's their last chance. They need 2 or more, as Kenny Lofton takes strike 1 inside, but then ball 1 outside. So 1-1 count for Kenny Lofton. And you certainly want to get Kenny Lofton on with Lindsey Felgate coming up next, as he swings and misses strike 2. So Kenny Lofton's got to try to protect here. He switches to grounder. The 1-2 pitch is an easy take, as that's well outside, down and away. So 2 balls, 2 strikes. No bite there from Kenny Lofton. But he's not going to be able to hold back that time. That is a high heat away, swing and a miss, and a big strikeout there on Kenny Lofton. My goodness, Amanda Hellerman just has Kenny Lofton's number. Amanda Hellerman struck Kenny Lofton out 2 times the first time they faced off in the regular season. And Amanda Hellerman has struck out Kenny Lofton twice today, as Lindsey Felgate swings and misses and is quickly down 0-1. So Lindsey Felgate, who, as I mentioned, a relatively quiet season for her standards, as she hits a chopper up the right field line. Is that going to get by Jeremy Burnett? No, he is there, collects it in plenty of time. And the Marlins are down to their final out here in game number 1. It's all up to Barbara Jones. Got to keep the inning alive, as Amanda Hellerman throws a rare first pitch ball. She's really been doing a good job of getting ahead in the count, but that one just a little bit high in the zone. So 1 ball now. Swing and a line drive to first base. Jeremy Burnett is there, makes the catch, and the ball game is over.
No score in this one.
The Orioles take game number 1, 2-0. And we will see you at Dirt Yards for game number 2. All right, so we are jumping right into game number 2, as that was a very exciting and well-played game number 1. Well, I say well-played, but there was 4 errors from the Marlins that led to both of Killerbat's runs. So we'll have to keep an eye on that in game number 2 here. So as we get ready to start, as I mentioned, it's going to Dirt Yards, which is not a place that you want to play Loba in. I mean, as everyone is aware, but if you're not, he is the Dirt Yard Demons for the reason. This team is built for dirt yards. They do not lose often at dirt yards. In fact, they only lost 1 game at home all season, and that was oh wait, no, I was looking at Killerbat stats. My fault. They did lose the Killerbat at dirt yards, actually. That week 5 game was at dirt yards. They did lose that one 3-2.
One thing is for certain, this is going to be a very different game compared to the last one. Dirt Yards is a whole other beast of a ballpark.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see if Loba goes back to that same strategy of walking both Ken Griffey Jr. And Rachel LaBuena that it seemed like they had done in their matchup in week 5. Because especially with the slower tier of runner speed, maybe you put them on. They're both or Ken's a 5 and then Rachel's a 6. All of a sudden, you take the chances with them getting around the bases, especially with the slow Terry Vega behind them. So it's going to be a chess match as always between these two coaches. As it seems like Killerbat is not ready, maybe not his phone is not turned on.
Busy at the moment, probably possibly resetting the game. Who knows?
He's probably getting stats from last game.
And you know what? I see he just posted the score and the stats, so I think that's probably what he was doing.
It has to be.
There we go.
Well, this would be the time where I would normally plug a big BYSC event that's coming up, but really, there is no big events coming up. This kind of is the big event, the playoffs.
Whoa. Oh, I was just going to say.
I was going to say, yeah. It was like, this is no big deal. HL playoffs, 2 season coasters, there's nothing.
Well, even if there's no big events coming up, I'll take this time to plug our next, what will probably be our next stream, which will be Sunday night with another season coach in CRK, who's the reigning HL champion, versus Uno. They're going to start their series. Uno Leon, who is a season 6 Super Duper League champion, has had an incredible rookie season in the HL. Uno Leon is another Dirt Yards team that likes speed and has a really good roster for it. And CRK, as always, with his voodoo magic, with a roster that on paper probably doesn't look all that threatening, but in the hands of CRK is just, it's voodoo magic. So that's going to be a really, really entertaining game, really entertaining series, and that'll be streamed live here on Twitch for you Sunday night, sometime around 7 or 8 Central, I believe, is the time that the two coaches are aiming for. So you definitely want to come back and tune in for that one.
Absolutely. And if you want to play online just like all of we are doing right now, just go to backyardsports.online. That's backyardsports.online, real URL. It will give you everything that you need to know. It'll give you a link to our Discord server, so on and so forth. The ad break is over. The game is about to start. We also have a Patreon, Backyard Sports Center. Just search that up on Patreon. You can eventually find us.
And I really think you should go and do that because I am not going to spoil anything, but let me tell you, it is well worth it. Well worth it.
HC3 got an Applebee's ad and does not approve. It has been forever since I went to Applebee's.
That's probably a good thing. It's really gone downhill.
I've heard.
I guess so.
I think the last time I went, they had their own like Mountain Dew. It was like a bluish Mountain Dew, and it was very much. I liked it, but the food was lacking something. Taste, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The last time I went to Red Lobster or Olive Garden, shit slapped. So like, why am I swearing? It slapped. Like, oh, okay. HC is throwing in a pretty hot take. Chili's better than Applebee's.
I think that's a lukewarm take. I mean Chili's. You can't beat Chili's. The free chips, the salsa.
Chili's is pretty dang good. Yeah.
I used to mess up a margarita chicken from Chili's before going to the Tampa Bay Rays games with my grandpa.
That sounds so good right now. Oh man,
it really does. I might have to go get Chili's after this if they're still open. All right, it seems like Killerbat's dial-up is malfunctioning here as we're still waiting for game number 2 to start. Although I would imagine it would be any second here.
it's been 5 minutes since stats were posted. I don't even know if KB was looking to play game 2 or not. But Loba is very much ready.
Let's see.
Who is it?
I'm challenging
There we go.
you to a game.
Now I feel bad because I just sent Killerbat a message. Oh, I deleted it. I didn't send it. You didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything.
All right, so we are getting ready to head into game 2. As a reminder, Killerbat, if for some reason you have the memory of a goldfish, Killerbat won game number 1 2-0. So this is a must-win game for Loba and the Marlins. They need to win this game and send it back to Parks Department number 2 for game number 3, which, gosh, I hope would be tonight. I really do. I really hope if it goes to game 3, both coaches decide to rip it in one go. That would be phenomenal, which we've seen a few coaches do. We've had a couple instances of that. I did that myself. I ripped all 3 games after only planning to play 2, and we had a few other series that did that. So if it does go to a game 3, I feel like it's got a pretty good chance of some prime time viewing in one sitting here.
This has definitely been one of our more exciting backyard sports center evenings in, well, I was about to say quite some time, but there's been a lot of great playoff action recently. Like, I have not had this much fun during the playoffs in a very long time.
Yeah, we had the Whiff Spree versus Can't Wait to Fly series on Twitch, which was just phenomenal. If you missed any of that, go and rewatch the VODs, because that was just an electric series. A lot of runs, not a lot of defense, which is great viewing experience, even if it's not the best playing experience. And we also had some JL action between Charguider and Stern Wizard, and Charguider and Cap and Munch. Both of those were great series. So it's just been non-stop, really high-level stuff. So the game is finally ready. We are starting, and first pitch swinging is Sheila Basanti as she hits a little doinker fly ball to Ingrid Dahlman, who thought about dropping the ball, boy, if Ingrid had an error there to start the inning, I think Loba would have quit the game. So thank goodness that Ingrid recovered and caught that one, because this could have been a really quick game number 2 if there was an error to start off the game.
They're calling dirt the anti-Killerbat field, and we'll see if that is come to fruition. Although Killerbat did win his game here at Dirt Yards, as you had mentioned earlier.
That is true. So week number 5, the Marlins did lose 3-2. I will say that was a much different Marlins team. They traded away 4 players that were on that roster, as there's a swing, and the first Dirt Yards ground ball picked up by Dominic Hoskins. The throw to first, not in time. So a little Dirt Yards hop, and we have our first base runner, and that brings up Ken Griffey Jr., who I see why people might say that. He is a little bit nerfed here with that big wall in right field, so a little bit less likely to hit home runs, as he takes a good pitch on the bottom inside corner, strike 1 from Kristen Sullivan. So we do in fact see no walks here. Definitely a different strategy here from Loba than that regular season game, as that one's a little low, 1-1. But that one's not, just catches the inside corner, so Ken Griffey Jr. down 1 ball, 2 strikes. Kristen Sullivan looking to retire the big slugger, as that's just a little bit too high. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Ken Griffey Jr. The 2-2 pitch, a take all the way, as that's well inside, so it's now a full count. Kristen Sullivan already throwing her 11th pitch, which for her is a lot, and that is a walk. So she was ahead in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, and then it gets away from her. And so 2 base runners now for the next power threat, Rachel the Good LaBuena.
The best chance to hit a home run will probably be left field. You know, there's that big blue building over and right.
And there's Kenny Lofton picking up that shot to center field. The throw to first, not in time. Thinking about going home, but going back to third. The throw to third, not in time. She's back safely. So a first pitch swing there from Rachel LaBuena, and a little line drive to center field. Handled by Kenny Lofton this time. Gets the out at second base. So 2 outs, runners on first and third for Terry Vega. As Kristen Sullivan throws ball number 1, and she's getting a little bit tired. Her stamina is not very good, so you can see why they use a rotation of Kristen, Dominic, and Barbara. As that's another ball. And you know what? I say that. This may just be an intentional walk, intentional walk to Terry Vega as he falls behind 3-0. And that is not ball 4. That is a good pitch to hit that Terry Vega was taking all the way. And a back pick attempt here, but back in time safely is Rachel LaBuena.
I don't think
So
Terry
3 balls,
Vega
1
is
strike.
someone who you want to intentionally walk. Not because he's slow, but because you have a better chance of getting him out than you do Rachel or Ken.
And they don't need to put him on base to get him out. They are going to get him swinging. So Killerbat swung at a pitch outside for strike 2 and then swings through strike number 3. And the Marlins escaped the jam. Boy, they needed that. They really needed to get through the top of the lineup without giving up any runs. That feels really good for the Marlins here heading into their home half of the first. So the risky play there, not walking Terry Vega, pays off. And Kenny Lofton, the leadoff hitter, swings and fouls away strike number 1.
Here's the pitch. The swing.
And that is a ground ball to the shortstop. It's picked up in plenty of time and thrown to first. So no dirt yards hop. That was well played by the shortstop as she got to the ball before it was able to take any crazy bounces. And a quick first out from Kenny Lofton. Boy, he's having a tough series, only on base once so far in his first 4 at-bats, as Lindsey Felgate takes ball 1 up and away.
That was ball 2.
And then takes ball number 2 low and away. So Amanda Hellerman definitely pitching very carefully to the power threat of Lindsey Felgate, as that's another pitch outside. So 3 balls, no strikes.
She is ready. Here's the pitch.
The 3-0 pitch. Swinging is Lindsey Felgate, and she hits a towering pop-up to left field. It looks like Rachel LaBuena is under it. She is. She makes the catch, and the first 2 batters are retired. So Kenny Lofton and Rachel LaBuena and Lindsey Felgate, who have been the workhorses of this Marlins offense, have really been struggling, and they've been kept under wraps by Killerbat. So a really good job by Amanda Hellerman in this defense as Barbara Jones swings and misses. So 1 ball, 1 strike.
Into the windup and the pitch.
1-1 pitch here from Amanda Hellerman. Just clips the bottom inside corner. And Barbara Jones is down 1 ball, 2 strike. And Amanda Hellerman looking for a quick 1-2-3 first inning. The 1-2 pitch. A high heat fouled away. The classic high heat from Amanda Hellerman, but good job fighting it off there from Barbara Jones. So another 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. It is a 1-2-3 inning. Amanda Hellerman, first strikeout of the game. And the first inning ends, both teams not scoring. So we head to the top of the second inning. Kristen Sullivan is staying on the mound to pitch.
Next batter.
And that brings up the first baseman, Jeremy Burnett.
She kicked and the pitch. Strike
So Jeremy Burnett, who, Alex, I know you're very well acquainted with, as
from the windup
Jeremy
and
Burnett's,
delivered.
on his birthday, hit a game-tying home run
1-1.
in game number 3 of my playoff series that you called. You had that electric call. He's not quite done as good of a job here in this series since, it's no longer his birthday, obviously.
From the
No, of
windup,
course.
the offering.
But always a threat at the plate as he fouls that one away to stay alive. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, at least he's more of a power threat than a contact threat, but he's still a very solid player to have.
And drove one.
And there is an example of that as that's drilled up the right field line. That's going to get down. Barbara Jones running over. And Jeremy Burnett's, poor Jeremy Burnett's, he does turn into a 4-speed here at dirt. So it's a long and loud single, but just a single at that. So the leadoff runner is aboard here for the Orioles, and that brings up the catcher, Vincent Sweet. Kristen Sullivan, stamina still kind of getting, and there we go. There's a timeout. I was just about to say her stamina is getting kind of low again. And so we see another the first pitching change, and Dominic Hoskins comes in as part of this pitching rotation as Vincent Sweet swings and fouls this one straight back. So 1 strike.
He's ready now.
Dominic Hoskins, who came in at relief and did a very fine job getting out of a few different jams in game number 1 as he catches the inside corner for strike 2. And then a swing and a miss. Dominic Hoskins continues to come in relief and lock it down. So Vincent Sweet strikes out, and that is the first out of the inning.
Amanda Hellerman steps up. The stretch.
So the pitcher, Amanda Hellerman, comes up with 1 out, 1 on. First pitch swinging, hits a fly ball to center field. And you got to hold your breath with Kenny Lofton right now. And he makes that catch. So a couple of errors there in game number 1.
Excellent.
It was never going to be an easy play for Kenny Lofton there, but he does retire Amanda Hellerman. So 2 outs now. So leadoff single is that risk of being wasted here, and it's PJ Sharif, who is also first pitch swinging, as that's a little fly ball to Kristen Sullivan. She retires the side, and the leadoff single from Jeremy Burnett is, in fact, wasted, and we head to the bottom of the second, still 0-0.
Steps up to bat.
So the pitcher turned shortstop, Kristen Sullivan, is leading things off as she swings and misses at pitch number 1, a little bit outside.
Takes her stretch and the delivery.
Amanda Hellerman only had to throw 11 pitches in that first inning,
Second strike on ya, it gets pretty tough to fight.
which is really, really, really good, especially having to face batters like Kenny Lofton and Lindsey Felgate. To only need 11 pitches to get through that inning was really, really key, as that's another foul from Kristen Sullivan, so no balls, 2 strikes.
Here's the motion and the pitch.
The 0-2 pitch again from Amanda Hellerman, as that is lined to center field. Is that going to get down? It is. Terry Vegas not able to get there in time, and Sheila Basanti dives and misses the ball, so this is going to turn into a single for Kristen Sullivan. She is in. Oh, thinking about going to third. Oh, but she wisely goes back. So it is a stand-up leadoff double for Kristen Sullivan, and the Marlins are looking to score their first run of the series here, as Robbie Bacco, the third baseman, comes up and looks at strike number 1 on the outside corner. That's a good pitch from Amanda Hellerman.
Here's the motion and the offering.
The 0-1 pitch swung on and hit a mile high, but straight back, so foul. So Robbie Bacco quickly down, no balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch from Amanda Hellerman.
That was a ball. 1-2.
Good take from Robbie on a good hook, just a little bit low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to the third baseman of the Marlins. But that one's not a good take. That is a strike on the outside corner and another strikeout for Amanda Helleman, her second of the game. So 4 outs, 2 strikeouts for Amanda Helleman, as that brings up the first baseman, who's had a gold glove series. She saved a couple of runs. Ingrid Dahlman, who swings at the first pitch. A little doinker back to the pitcher. Throws to first, not in time. Ingrid Dahlman legs it out. That's an infield single.
And Hellerman has that 100 arms, so like that is a good legging from Dahlman there.
Absolutely. You know Loba had to be sprinting there, because that is not a throw that a lot of people beat out with Amanda Helleman on the mound. As Mary Riley takes low and away, strike 1, so 1 ball, 1 strike to the Marlins catcher.
The 1-1 pitch.
The 1-1 pitch, swung on, and line drive. Is that going to get down? Terry Vega over, is not going to make the catch. The dive to stop it. The throw to first, not in time. Mary Riley legs it out. So a lot of hustle being shown here by the Marlins, and it's paying off. They've got bases loaded for Venetia, not Vanessa, Goodman, and the Marlins need to score here. They've yet to score this series. Boy, oh boy, they'd like to have a lead at home. And that's a good strike. My goodness, Amanda Helleman really locking in here with that pitch. A good strike on the inside corner. And swung on and fouled away. So 0-2 now, Amanda Helleman. A strikeout would be huge for the Orioles, as that is a fastball high and outside. A good take from the Marlins.
So that 100 fastball could come in handy for the Orioles.
Yes, it could, and that is her calling card. The 2-2 pitch, and we saw maybe a steal attempt, but able to get the runners back. So everyone was stealing, but on an obvious ball was able to get the runners back. And so the hit and run is on again here. Full count, the payoff pitch. Swung on and fouled away. That was a good pitch to hit, but Venetia Goodman not able to make contact. So hit and run on again with 1 out.
Probably going fastball.
Let's see if the risk pays off. Oh, a strike 3 looking on the fastball, and the back pick. Mary Riley, she's in trouble. Kristen Sullivan's going home. The throw home. Now Kristen Sullivan's in a pickle. The throw to Ken Griffey Jr. She stumbles, falls, and she's tagged out. And so the risk is not paid off. The Marlins still yet to score in the series. Oh my goodness.
Timeout.
And thank goodness there's a timeout there, because I need to catch my breath.
That was intense.
My goodness. So a looking strikeout, and then a pickle at first base, and then a pickle at third base, as that's a first pitch swinging, and an out at first base as Kristen Sullivan picks it up and throws it over in time.
You got to be more weary about these pickles, especially with the runner on third, because no matter how good your player's arm might be, second and first, they're going to go home no matter what.
Yeah, and Kristen Sullivan was already a little tired since she had started the game pitching. And so to have a tired Kristen Sullivan at third base, definitely a risk to steal. And, I mean, if it would have paid off, then it's just another, classic Loba moment. That's what Loba does. But it doesn't pay off. And so Faye Dawson now down 1 ball, 2 strikes. And she drills this one to right center. Is Barbara Jones going to get there in time? Who caught that? I don't know.
That's
Kenny Lofton or Barbara
That was a
Jones.
diving catch by Kenny out there in center.
My goodness. So finally, after 2 errors in game number 1, Kenny Lofton is showing why he's usually a pretty good center fielder with a diving catch to take a hit away and probably extra bases away. And as always, I'm a broken record, that is such a big out to have 2 outs, bases empty, for the gauntlet of Ken Griffey, Rachel LaBuena, and Terry Vega coming up. As Ken Griffey takes ball number 1, so 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's exactly why you wanted the bases empty, because that is ripped to right field. Barbara Jones not able to make the play, does knock it down and keep it in front. The throw to second base. Ken Griffey Jr. is caught in a pickle. He trips, he falls. Is he going to get back to first in time? Slides, and he's safe as the ball gets away from Ingrid Dahlman. So Ken Griffey Jr. wanted extra bases, but a good relay there from Barbara Jones after knocking the ball down. And it's just a loud single for Ken Griffey Jr. But the inning continues. Another 2-out hit here for Killerbat. He's had a lot of those in this series, it feels like.
That was ball one.
As ball number 1 for Rachel LaBuena is high and away. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Rachel the Good LaBuena. Swings, and it's a high foul ball.
Here's the windup. She delivers.
The 1-2 pitch fouled away again.
That
So
looks
Rachel LaBuena.
way too outside for him to be swinging like that.
Yeah, I know protecting the plate. And there is the swing at another outside pitch. A big strikeout for Kristen Sullivan and the Marlins. And Rachel LaBuena may be a little too aggressive. Swings at a couple of outside pitches on 2 strikes. And the Orioles again come up empty. So after scoring 2 runs in the first inning of game 1, helped in part by some drops in center field, the Orioles have really been kept in check. So really, if it wasn't for those Kenny Lofton drops, I mean, we could still be in game number 1 in extra innings. Who knows? It's really been a really even series other than that top of the first. As Vanessa Goodman comes back up to the plate. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the double play glitch where she struck out and then there was out to end the inning. So Vanessa Goodman comes back up to the plate when she was up to the plate last inning.
Was it? Is that a glitch? I'm only aware of the glitch where it's like you get a triple play and it gets the hitter before the last out.
Triple plays will do it, but I'm pretty sure this is also a known glitch, as that is ripped to left field. Is that going to get down in the gap? It looks like it might. Lindsay Felgate is not able to get there in time. Excuse me, Lindsay. I said Lindsay Felgate. That's not Lindsay Felgate. But it's a ground rule double.
Yeah.
That's LaBuena. As a ground rule double and another leadoff double for the Marlins. Can they score this run and get their first run of the series? Dominic Hoskins looking to play small ball and squeeze the runner over, but it's a foul ball. And quick break in the action here as Uno Leon has subscribed with Prime. Thank you, Uno, for the Prime subscription. And we will be seeing you very shortly here on the Twitch channel and when you play CRK on Sunday night. As Dominic Hoskins takes low and inside.
Hopefully your Blazers can get a little bit of luck as well.
So Dominic Hoskins to take ground ball to Terry Vega over at second base, and he does in fact move the runner over. So runner at third, only 1 out, and the top of the lineup coming out. This is exactly what you need from the Marlins to finally get your run. But Amanda Hellerman once again locking in with runners in scoring position, just clips the corner to get ahead in the count on Kenny Lofton, 0-1. And just misses that one high and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike now to the center fielder. The 1-1 pitch, that's a grounder to shortstop. That might do it. That might score the run. The dive, the throw home.
What a gun.
Oh, she's caught in a pickle now. What a cannon. Vanessa Goodman. Is she going to get back in time? No! The tag is applied. What an absolute cannon from the shortstop. Kenny Lofton does move up to second base in scoring position, but wow, I thought that was going to be a run for sure. Lindsay Felgate hits a ground ball. Kenny Lofton's going to get to third. Lindsay Felgate's going to try to go to second. She'll probably get there as they don't want to throw and allow Kenny Lofton to score. So it's going to be ruled a double for Lindsay.
That was a crazy ground ball. I have not seen a ball go like that in any field.
That is dirt yards for you. You never know what to expect. And oh my goodness, are we going to see a pitching change? Or is this just a collect my thoughts timeout? If he's gotten Amanda Hellerman tired, that would be huge for Loba here. Because Amanda Hellerman faced 314 out of 320 batters on the season. The only other players who have even seen the mound was Vincent Sweet for 2 batters and Terry Vega for 4 batters. So we don't see a pitching change. Man, that would have been exciting to see a rare, very rare pitching change.
Probably
for the
making
Orioles.
a defensive change for the infield.
That is a good point. Probably bringing in some fielders here to try to hold this run, although there are 2 outs, so they really just got to get the out at first here, as that's a good start for Amanda Hellerman as she gets strike 1 and then strike 2 on the foul ball. So Amanda Hellerman 1 strike away from getting out of this. This would be a huge out to get with runners on second and third, and it's strike 3 swinging! The classic Amanda Hellerman fastball, bottom corner. And again, the leadoff double does not score for the Marlins. Runners left in scoring position, and we head to the 4th inning, 0-0.
It is a defensive battle.
This is some high-level stuff. I can't believe you're yawning with how exciting this is, as that is drilled to left field, but Lindsey Felgate makes the basket catch.
I'm yawning because it's 10:30 where I am.
Hey, it's 10:30 where I am, too. You don't see me yawning.
It is Friday, I guess.
It is Friday. I've got the Ben & Jerry's cookie dough bites out.
No,
Backyard
no,
baseball
stop
on the
saying you have
screen.
food. Oh, now I'm hungrier. You got the best Ben & Jerry's flavor, too.
Oh, they were buy one, get one. I couldn't resist. As Jeremy Burnitz fouls that one away to stay 0-2. And that one's just a little bit low and inside, so 1 ball, 2 strikes. So a quick out there on Terry Vega on the fly ball to left field. Kristen Sullivan looking to lock it down as that one is ripped to Barbara Jones. She's not able to make the play, but brings it up, collects herself, throws it to first in time to get the slow Jeremy Burnitz. So a good job of recovering after that sharp line drive, and there are 2 quick outs for the Marlins. So they continue to lock it down defensively. As I just mentioned last half inning, outside of that first inning of game 1, they haven't allowed a run. So they've gone almost 9 innings now, if they can get out of this one, without allowing a run. And they're still at risk of getting swept 2-0. That's not usually what you would expect there, as that is lined up the middle. Is that going to get down? Venetia Goodman dives, makes the play, throws to first, and gets the out. My goodness. So maybe switching to the alt account has paid off, because no errors here, just really good defense from the Marlins. And they keep the game scoreless as we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. So that brings up the pitcher, Kristen Sullivan, who was first pitch swinging right to the shortstop, who does a good adjustment there after a dirt yards bounce, throws to first in plenty of time, and that is 1 pitch, 1 out for Amanda Hellerman. So coming up to bat is the 3rd baseman for the Marlins, Robbie Bacco, who looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. Robbie Bacco, one of those players that was a part of that Week 7 blitz for the Marlins, where they traded 4 players, really switched things up. That's where they acquired Lindsey Felgate. And that's 2 straight balls from Amanda Hellerman. So now it's back in Robbie Bacco's favor here. 2 balls, 1 strike, as that is ripped to the second baseman, Terry Vega. He's going to pick it up and throw it in time to get Robbie Bacco. So a defensive clinic being put on here, which is, for a series that's being played at Parks Department number 2 and dirt yards, this is some high-level defense, because those are 2 highly offensive fields.
And Killerbat is a very highly offensive team.
As that is a swing and a little ground ball, but it's being, Jeremy Burnitz is pulled off the bag, and that's going to be an infield single for Ingrid Dahlman. So a little over-aggression there from Jeremy, as he's pulled off the bag at first, and it's a 2-out infield single for Ingrid Dahlman, bringing up Mary Riley, the catcher, who's 1 for 1 with a single today. Mary Riley does have 2 doubles and 2 triples and 6 RBIs on the season, so she's always a threat as she looks at ball 1 from Amanda Hellerman, and then ball number 2, so a rare 2-0 count here from Amanda Hellerman, who has not fallen behind often. The 2-0 count, and that one's low, so 3 balls, no strikes. Amanda Hellerman at risk of walking a batter and putting 2 on with 2 outs. Is the green light on for Mary Riley? It is, and she lines this one up the right field line. Terry Vega collects himself, grabs it, throws to first in time. So The infield single with 2 outs does not come to fruition, or nothing comes to fruition of it. And we head to the top of the 5th inning, still 0-0. So no runs have been scored by either team since the top of the 1st inning in game number 1. And it's starting to feel like whichever team scores first is probably going to win. It's getting to that point of the game. And oh my goodness, I think that was oh, but it didn't count. Oh, I thought that was a misclick where they swung too early adjusting the stance, but it didn't count. It's a ball. But that is swung on and fouled away. So 1 ball, 2 strikes there for Amanda Hellerman, the pitcher. And just misses. Oh my, by a pixel. I mean, 1 single pixel did that miss. So 2-2 now.
Ooh.
And that is swung on and a high pop-up to Robbie Bacco. This is trouble for Robbie. But he makes the play. So a good readjustment there. You can see the big circle from Robbie Bacco. So you need good spotting skills as a coach with a player who has that bad of an eye. And Loba definitely has that, the veteran of the Marlins. So 1 out now for PJ Sharif, who is now even in the count. 1 ball, 1 strike with that pitch low and inside. As that is swung on and hit on a line to the second baseman, Venetia, who has some trouble with it. She bobbles it and safe at first. Oh my goodness. So I was just talking about the high-level defense, no errors, and Venetia Goodman makes me eat my words. My words, excuse me.
Venetia is also very tired. Her throws are getting really, really weak.
Yes, you can see there as the timeout here from Loba's, we get a pitching change, and Dominic Hoskins comes back in. You can see why she bobbled that throw there, as she is very tired. And Dominic Hoskins is going to dive, pick this up. Does he have a play? No! Oh, my goodness, and the dive costs him, and everyone is safe. So a couple of infield singles here as Dominic Hoskins and Venetia Goodman are not able to make the plays. And that brings up Faye Dawson, the shortstop, in the top of the lineup for the Killerbat Orioles. As that is fouled away, and then the second pitch, high fly ball to right field. Barbara Jones looks to be under it, makes the catch, thinking about going to third, and then sliding back to second base, but back down at second base. Oh, a base running error there from the Orioles, and that is an unconventional double play.
That is big for the Marlins right now. Very rarely do you see an offensive, very rarely do you see a base running mistake there from KB. You see, he was trying to advance on a sacrifice fly, but Dominic fell over. Not Dominic. Whoever the catcher was, he fell over as he was running, so he couldn't. So he didn't have enough time to run back.
And that is a big double play there for the Marlins to keep this game scoreless. As Venetia Goodman falls down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. She hits a little pop-up.
Oh,
That will most likely get down. And, ooh, I said most likely get down. And then Vincent Sweet made a really good effort there to catch that ball.
that's right, Vincent Sweet.
It stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. As that is strike 3 swinging. The high fastball claims another victim. This time, it's Venetia Goodman striking out for the first out of the inning.
Dominic Hoskins steps up to bat.
So the pitcher, Dominic Hoskin, comes up to the plate for the 2nd time today. As he looks at ball 1, high and away.
She kicks, cuts to the plate. Low ball 2.
And that's ball number 2, low and outside. So another 2-0 count. Amanda Hellerman losing the zone a little bit here the last couple of innings. And that is a swing very early from Dominic Hoskins. 2 balls, 1 strike now. And that was a meatball, too. Oh, my goodness. The eyes got wide. And that is drilled to left field, but right at the left fielder. Oh, my goodness. You could hear the crack of the bat. I thought that was going to get down a lot quicker, but it stayed up. And that is a loud out for number 2.
From the windup, the pitch. The swing.
So back to the top of the lineup here. Kenny Lofton, the center fielder, 1 for 2 with that double. As he swings and fouls off the first pitch. And then takes low and inside for ball number 1.
windup. She delivers.
1-1 pitch. And it's a bunt from Kenny Lofton. He is sprinting
on.
up the line, and he is on in plenty of time. Oh, my goodness.
Lindsay
That honestly wasn't even that good of a bunt. I mean, it was just almost right back to the pitcher, but it was a little slow to develop, and the speedy Kenny Lofton is on, and the stolen base leader is making his way to second base, and he's going to have to head back as he was a little slow getting there. A bad jump from Kenny Lofton, but there's miscommunication at second base, and he gets in. Oh, my goodness. Terry Vega got a little greedy and I think stole that ball on what probably would have been an out. So it goes down as a stolen base for Kenny Lofton. A little bit more anxiety than Loba would probably like, but it is a stolen base for the stolen base leader and a runner on second with 2 outs now for Lindsay Felgate, who has not seen a pitch to hit and will most likely get walked. We'll see if she swings. She does. She does swing to force another pitch from Amanda Helleman, who looks like she's going to walk her, and
she's trying to send Lofton to third.
We see oh my goodness.
He's out of there.
Ah, so
End of the fifth.
I think that was intentional, personally. I think that was
It's
intentional.
very possible.
Just
Probably,
get Kenny Lofton
Loba
out.
probably wants to end the game with Lindsay instead of just risking the sac fly or whatever.
I think that was the smart play. We'll see if it has
Try
if
not
it
to
pays
waste
off in the
Lindsay
bottom
until
of the
the next
sixth
one.
inning.
Yeah.
He's frozen.
Yeah, that is high level stuff here. As Ken Griffey Jr. rips this one to right field, Barbara Jones not able to
Ooh.
turn around in time, knocks it down, and that's another long, loud single for Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, Rooney.
So Ken Griffey Jr. continues to hit the ball well, not getting extra base hits, but putting bat to ball and getting on base.
Into the windup and the pitch.
So you can't ask for too much more, as that brings up Rachel LaBuena, first pitch swinging, and that's into the gap as the shift was on. But Lindsay Felgate collects the ball, throws to second in time for one, on to first, double play.
Out.
They're two
Oh my
most
goodness.
dangerous
To
hitters
home plate.
out like that.
Terry Vega.
That was an incredible double play on a sharp ground ball that got into left field because the shift was on,
On the way.
and
Swing.
that is huge as Terry Vega
Uh-oh.
rips this one to left field. That is back at the wall. Gone! Terry Vega!
Africa.
The first run since the first inning of game number 1, and the Orioles have the lead 1-0.
With their two best hitters out on a double play, Terry Vega has had enough. Barely over that fence in left field.
That ended up bouncing back and only goes down as a home run of 184 feet, but
Because it hit
my
that pole.
goodness.
Batter Jeremy Burnett.
It did hit the pole, you're right. That's the second home run that's hit the pole this playoffs that we've had on stream. That's,
Frozen.
you know, if I had a nickel for every time a home run hit a light pole at Dirt Yards, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's kind of weird that I have
happened twice.
2.
Yeah.
Pitch on the way.
If I had a nickel for every time we made that reference to Phineas and Ferb, to that Phineas and Ferb thing from the movie on Backyard Sports Center, we'd also have 2 nickels.
To right.
You're joking, bro.
Which isn't a lot, but it's
It's
crazy
weird
that
that
you
it
have
happened
2.
twice. Yeah.
Ready now. The 1-2 pitch.
So Jeremy Burnett's down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, lines this one to Ingrid Dahlman, and Ingrid Dahlman again makes a really nice play at first base.
Marlins are behind.
She has looked great defensively, but the Orioles on the Terry Vega solo shot take the lead, and the Marlins are down to their final 3 outs. They need to score a run or else they are eliminated from the playoffs in the quarterfinals, 2-0.
From the stretch, he delivers. Ball 1.
So we'll see if that gamble in the bottom of the 5th inning pays off, where they ran Kenny Lofton into an out so that Lindsay Felgate would start the inning.
High and outside, and the count is 2.
And it seems like Lindsay Felgate's going to get walked.
The windup, the pitch.
Don't think she's going to get a pitch to hit.
Strike 1. And
As that is a swing and a miss. That one did look closer, but probably would have been a ball. So 2 walls, 1 strike. Does Amanda Helleman think about pitching?
I think
She
she's
does.
She's trying to really paint those corners.
she is ready. Fire. A swing.
That is fouled away. Ooh, that one looks like it could have leaked back into the zone a little bit too much. Lucky foul ball for Killerbat there. That could have been trouble. And the high fastball does not catch enough of the zone. And it is a leadoff walk for Lindsey Felgate. So the tying run is on first base, and the winning run is up to the plate in Barbara Jones. Can the Marlins tie this game and either force extras or force a game 3? Barbara Jones actually, as Lindsey Felgate is stealing, and she's in, and the ball gets away. Lindsey Felgate, a little bit of an animation glitch. She's going to get into third base. And a runner on third, nobody out for the Marlins. Surely they will score this run and tie this game. And this is the batter you want up. Barbara Jones actually led the team in RBIs. She had 13 RBIs on the season, far and away the RBI leader. So the perfect hitter you want up in this situation. But she swings and misses. Oh, I'm going to cast her curse, Barbara Jones.
Already has 2
1 ball,
strikeouts
2
today.
strikes. And
there's number
strike
3.
Oh my goodness. I take full responsibility for that strikeout on Barbara Jones. That's my bad. And so now 1 out. The runner's still at third for Kristen Sullivan. As that one is just a little bit too low and inside. So Amanda Hellerman up to 6 strikeouts on the game and 87 pitches. As that should do it. That is a drive to right field that will most likely be caught, and it doesn't get caught. It gets down. The game is going to tie, and Kristen Sullivan, the winning run, is going to get into second base. And she's going to head to third and will most likely get there. The throw, not in time. The winning run is on third base with run out. And it's all up to Robbie Bacco here. Well, it's not all up to Robbie Bacco, because even if he gets out, there's another batter. But Robbie Bacco could send this game to a game 3. Excuse me, the series to a game 3. God, I'm so excited I can't get my words right. As Robbie Bacco's ahead in the count now. 2 balls, no strikes. Robbie Bacco 0 for 2 today, but can play hero, but not getting a pitch to do it. 3 balls, no strikes to Robbie Bacco. And this looks like ball 4, but that is a swing because he wants Amanda Hellerman to throw her 93rd pitch of the game if she's going to walk Robbie. And that might do it. That's a sharp ground ball to Ken Griffey Jr. It's going to get by. He picks it up. The throw home. Oh, Kristen Sullivan's in trouble now. She's not going back to third yet. Now she does. And Robbie Bacco is going to take advantage and head to second. So Ken Griffey Jr., the ball did get by, but he was able to collect himself and get it in enough time. So the game is not over yet, but Robbie Bacco does move up to second base, and no outs are recorded. So Ingrid Dahlman, who has arguably saved multiple runs this series, has a chance to be the hero on offense and send this series to a game 3. But she's not getting a pitch to hit.
Probably going for the force out every base.
Yep, this is the smart move here. First base open, create the force out at home, a double play opportunity. And that is ball 4, well inside. So it is, in fact, an intentional walk to load the bases. The force is on. Most likely the defense will be shifted in. Who is up? Mary Riley is up. So Mary Riley, 6 RBIs on the year, which was actually more RBIs than Lindsey Felgate and Kenny Lofton combined. Now Mary Riley has the chance to play hero, as she is now ahead in the count. 2 balls, no strike. There's nowhere to put it. You've got to throw a strike if you're Amanda Hellerman, who is about to throw her 100th pitch of the game.
There it is.
And there's a strike. Strike number 1. 2 balls, 1 strike. That was a good pitch taken by Mary Riley. So the 101st pitch from Amanda Hellerman. She's thinking. Fires. Swung on in a ground ball. That's going to be trouble. It's get by the shortstop. The throw is to home plate in time. The throw to first. In time. Play. Oh my goodness. And we are going to extra innings. I can't believe that throw went home, got the runner, and then Mary Riley just, oh my goodness.
That was one of the best. That is one of the most intense plays I've seen in the 4 years I've been doing this.
Thank goodness we're recording, because we're going to see that one on replay for a long time.
Sometime.
A blooper in foul territory.
So we head to the top of the 7th inning. It is free baseball here for you on this Friday night, and it's 1-1 with Vincent Sweet up to the plate as he fouls the 1-2 pitch straight back. So it remains 1 ball, 2 strikes for the catcher. Dominic Hoskins still on the mound.
Foul. 1-2.
And I mean, give it up for Dominic Hoskins, who has not allowed a run coming into relief, and he's come into some really, really sticky situations. He has answered the call and more for this Marlins team.
Swung on. Pitch foul.
As Vincent Sweet fouls that one away, so Vincent Sweet is working a good at bat here, trying to get Dominic Hoskins a little tired. The 2-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. Dominic Hoskins continues to lock it down. Another strikeout. And that is out number 1 of the 7th inning.
Amanda Hellerman steps up.
So 1 out, bases empty. The pitcher, Amanda Hellerman, who's 0 for 2 today, comes up. She takes strike 1 low and away on the outside corner.
From the windup, Byers. Strike.
And she takes strike number 2 high, just a little bit high, but just clipping the top of the zone there. So quickly, no balls, 2 strikes. And that is strike 3 looking, I think, an intentional strikeout to get some stamina back for their pitcher, because she never swung the bat. Granted, they were 3 pretty good pitches, but still, I would venture to guess an intentional strikeout, because if you didn't know, you strike out, you get plus 10 stamina points back. But, ooh, that's always the risk with intentionally striking out. You get some stamina points back, but your opponent may be getting a juice box.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happens here for the Marlins, a much-needed juice box to get their starter Kristen Sullivan back into the game as she faces PJ Sharif, the right fielder, and leads off with the ball on the inside corner.
And a foul.
But he swings and fouls off the next pitch, so 1 ball, 1 strike.
Target goes up. The 1.
2 outs, bases empty here. The Marlins looking to send it to the bottom of the 7th with a chance to walk it off again, as that is a ground ball picked up by Dominic Hoskins. But, oh, he took a little bit too long to get that throw off, and it was a lazy throw over to first base as he's a little bit tired himself. And so an infield 2-out single, another 2-out hit. Boy, I wish I was recording that stat somewhere, because I feel like it's been, 5 or 6 2-out hits here for Killerbat. He just does not let the inning end quickly.
Runner on first. 2 out.
So back to the top of the lineup here. Sheila Basanti, the center fielder, in a 1-1 count, swings and hits a fly ball to center field that's going to get down. Kenny Lofton dives, picks it up. The relay over to second base, trying to go to third base is PJ Sharif. He's going to get in, and it gets by Robbie. That's going to allow Sheila to go to second base. So all of a sudden, from 2 outs, nobody on, it's 2 outs with runners on second and third. And it's Faye Dawson coming up. The ever-important Faye Dawson.
Notice how Lofton kind of stopped right before the ball took a bounce, so Lofton was able to read that bounce. That was a really good coaching play from Loba there.
That is, those are things that you just don't notice at such a high level of backyard baseball here. As Faye Dawson is now ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. You do not want to let Faye Dawson get on, and that's a good pitch, strike number 1. If you let Faye Dawson get on, you'd have bases loaded with Ken Griffey Jr. up at the plate.
But then again, Griffey Jr. hasn't been too vocal this entire series.
That is true. He's had a couple of loud singles, as that is a swing and a miss for Kristen Sullivan. So Ken Griffey Jr. does not get a chance to come up to bat with the bases loaded. And the Marlins get another chance to walk it off. We head to the bottom of the 7th. It's still 1-1.
Venetia Goodman steps up.
And we're going to get Venetia Goodman to lead things off here.
Takes the stretch, throws it. Strike 1. And the count.
Amanda Hellerman still on the mound. I did see someone in the chat speculate that maybe she was getting a little bit tired, finally. Not that she ever really gets tired, but after 100-plus pitches, you got to wonder, maybe she is getting a little tired.
Into the motion, the 1-2 pitch, the swing.
1-2 pitch, swung on, and a little doinker up the first base line. This could be trouble, but Amanda Hellerman picks it up and in plenty of time does get the out. So it looks like Venetia was a little bit tired there. She was not able to get the line up very quickly.
The stretch fire.
So 1 out, bases empty for Dominic Hoskins, the shortstop slash relief pitcher. 0 for 2 today. Looks at strike number 1.
That was ball 1.
And then takes ball 1 a little bit high and outside. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Dominic Hoskins, who's been so good in relief, can he help himself out with a hit here? That is a ground ball up the first base side and just barely foul. Oh my goodness, looks like it might have jumped over the base, but I guess not. So that is a foul ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes now for Dominic Hoskins. And a good take on a curveball low and away. So 2 balls, 2 strikes now to the shortstop slash pitcher, Dominic Hoskins, who swings and it's a little fly ball up the right field line. Jeremy Burnett's ranging back. Looks like he's got it. He jumps. He does. And that is out number 2. So we are 1 out away from an 8th inning. But before we get there, it's the top of the lineup for the Marlins. Kenny Lofton, 2 for 3 today. And if you let Kenny Lofton get on with 2 outs, anything is possible. And then things really get spicy. And he's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes. Certainly don't want to walk Kenny Lofton on. Certainly want to make him work to get on base. But that is ball number 3. Boy, you got to wonder if Amanda Hellerman is starting to get a little tired. And a 3-0 swing and a pop-up from Kenny Lofton. Oh, my goodness.
And she needs out.
Every single Little League coach is screaming and punching the air right now as Kenny Lofton was swinging 3-0. Hits a pop-up, and we do head to an 8th inning. Still tied 1-1.
Griffey Jr. at the plate.
So Ken Griffey Jr. now, who, as you mentioned, Alex, has been a little quiet, and again hits a long fly ball to right field. Will this be extra bases? Because that's going to be off the wall. Kenny Lofton picks it up, throws it into second base. Kenny Lofton slides, and he is there as the ball bounces away. So finally, Ken Griffey Jr. on a long fly ball to right field again gets his extra base hit. And the Orioles, have a runner on second with nobody out for Rachel LaBuena,
High ball 1.
who looks like she's going to get intentionally walked,
Target goes up. Throws it.
which I understand.
Have a runner on second. No
But
out.
considering Terry Vega is coming up after her, the same Terry Vega who hit a solo shot that almost eliminated you from the playoffs, it certainly still feels bad to walk Rachel LaBuena as we see a swing on 3-0 to force another pitch from Kristen Sullivan.
She is ready. And the pitch. Swing.
Ooh.
And we see another swing from Killerbat. So both coaches not wanting to accept walks here late. They're trying to end the game on a swing.
2 pitch.
The 3-2 pitch, and that one is definitely not going to be swung on. Much too outside, so it is a walk, but it does make Kristen Sullivan throw 6 pitches to do it.
Terry Vega.
So the chess game that is HL level backyard baseball continues, and the hero, who was almost the hero, Terry Vega, comes up to the plate with that solo shot in his last at bat. Looks at ball number 1, low and away,
And the pitch. Swing. That was ball 2.
and then takes ball 2 just a little bit too high. So he's ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes now. Kristen Sullivan winds, fires, and catches the outside corner to get a strike and put the count at 2-1. Still a hitter's count here for Terry, who swings and fouls this one away. So Kristen Sullivan works back, and now it's 2-2. The windup and the pitch. Another foul ball. So the count stays at 2-2 for Terry Vega. Another 2-2 pitch from Kristen. Swung on, and that is a fly ball, but looks like Kenny Lofton's going to get there. He does, and Terry Vega with a loud out, but is not able to advance the runners. So no hero for Terry Vega this inning.
Batter Jeremy
So with
Burnett.
1 out, runners still on first and second, that brings up Jeremy Burnett, the first baseman, 1 for 3 today. And Kristen Sullivan, as you can see, getting a little tired.
Ball 1.
So will they turn back to Dominic Hoskins, the relief pitcher? That's the question.
Promotion and the offering.
Ooh, good pitch.
Joking, right?
Really good pitch. She needed that. Can't fall behind 2-0 again. So 1 ball, 1 strike now to Jeremy Burnett. Another good pitch. Just catches the top corner there. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. A strikeout would be huge here for Kristen Sullivan.
Lined back.
That's not a strikeout. That's a line drive to center field. Dive by Kenny Lofton. He picks it up. Out at second. The relay to first. Not in time. Ken Griffey Jr. thinking about going home. He's going to go back. Uh-oh, the ball gets away. Mary Riley picks it up. Ken Griffey Jr. is going to score. Oh, my goodness. What did I just witness? And Mary Riley looks like she's carrying the ball out of play. Where'd
Mary
she
Riley
go?
is going home.
There it goes.
There's-
Oh, my gosh.
oh, no.
That was risky base running, but it paid off as the ball, the throw back to the pitcher got away, and Mary Riley went to pick it up. But aggressive base running from Ken Griffey Jr., and the Orioles have the lead again, 2-1. So Kristen Sullivan now, after that wild play, ahead in the count 0-2, trying to keep her team only down 1. Foul ball from Vincent Sweet. Got to keep the deficit at 1. The 0-2 pitch again. Swing and a little doinker. Ingrid Dahlman's coming off the base. A good adjustment from the coach. The throw to first in time. That is not an easy play to readjust the first baseman who was coming to get that ball.
The Marlins are behind.
Our Orioles in the same position they were in the 6th, with the best hitters on the Marlins squad coming up now.
Here's the pitch.
The exact same position as they were in the bottom of the 6th. You are right. Lindsey Felgate leading off the inning, down 1 as a strike on the outside corner. So still pitching Lindsey Felgate on the edges.
Ball 2.
As that one does not catch the corner, that brings the count to 2 balls, 1 strike.
She's set. The 2-1 pitch.
It's going to take a lot of patience here. You want Lindsey Felgate to swing the bat. She can tie this game with 1 swing, but you got to be patient because she's just as deadly on the bases. As that is a little doinker up the third base line. Ken Griffey Jr. dives, and she is going to make it to first base in plenty of time. So she does make it to first. Your tying run is aboard, and your RBI leader, Barbara Jones, is up. Tough day at the plate today, though. 3 strikeouts for Barbara Jones. As it looks like the hit and run is on. And it's not a hit and run, it's a straight steal, but it's a good throw from the catcher. Not in time. Slides in safely as Lindsey Felgate. So 90 feet away. Well, I say 90 feet. I don't know how far these base paths are in backyard baseball, but at second base is Lindsey Felgate, who's going to get to third base. And will Barbara Jones get to first? She will not. Going home is Lindsey. She trips, she falls. It's a pickle, and she gets back to third base. Ooh, that could have been really bad. That could have been trouble there for the Marlins, but she is able to get back to third base. So once again, the tying run is on third base with 1 out for Kristen Sullivan.
And the pitch.
The pitch swung on, and a line drive to the shortstop. Caught to third base. Out. Double play.
And that's an out.
Game over. Series over. The Orioles are moving on to face the Fishes.
What an ending. How many double plays is that now for the Orioles? Is that their third?
Third
It was
or
definitely the
fourth,
third
at
double
least.
play of this game, for sure.
My goodness.
But that is as exciting as it can possibly get without scoring more than 2 runs.
That's got to be one of the most exciting 2-1 games you are ever going to see in backyard baseball. And I see HCII is in the chat. Are we going to get a series game 1 right now? Maybe? Question mark?
No way. I have somewhere to be after this.
Probably not. Probably not. I can't imagine as a coach you'd want to play another game after that. Very, very tense. Very tense series.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You need a little bit of a breather after that one.
Okay, and it is confirmed that the series will not start until next week due to some technical difficulties going through the weekend.
But I think that is a good place for us to wrap it up. 3 straight hours of competitive backyard baseball here on the Backyard Sports Center. We are not even close to being done. As you mentioned on Sunday, we have CRK versus Leon. That series in the other division. is set to happen on Sunday. There might be some spontaneous baseball tomorrow. Who knows? But we will have it all right here in the Backyard Sports Center. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Check out our Patreon. Log on to backyardsports.online. We will see you guys the next time a baseball game decides it wants to happen.